Hello and welcome, everybody. This is Chart Request Live. We do this show twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on Stock Market TV. I'm joined, as always, by my esteemed co-host and friend, Patrick Dunawilla of the Chart Report. Hey, Pat.
Happy Thursday. How you doing?
Good, man. Today's your day.
Today's your day. You're on the charts today.
I'm on the charts. Today's my day, then. All right. All right.
We got a full chat though. We got a full mailbag, so we got a ton to get to.
Let's hit it. No intro. Straight to the charts.
Let's get right to it. So the first one comes from Dan, and I'm excited about this one because this is one we actually just put on in the buzz in our work that we do. This one is ITRI. And
Do I have to say nice things about it now?
Pronounce it because I have no clue how to pronounce it.
I have to say nice things about it now because you
don't. No, don't sugarcoat it.
All right, let's see. I'll try my best to not agree with you. Let's see what I can do.
There's definitely things you could pick apart about it. So
look, momentum's good. Wow, yeah, this is gonna be hard for me. So when you zoom out like this, right, off the .com bubble lows, really, big gains, and then nothing for going on 20 years. We peaked in 2007, and we're still in the same place. I would draw this one like this. Pivot out, you got a couple touches there. I don't want these retracements, sorry. That's it. I mean, want to draw the base, right?
Would you call this a cup and handle, or do you think it's too long term?
Cup and handle's a base to me.
Yeah.
It's
a failed base and then another smaller base.
That's right. And I'm literally just writing about this. Fonz and I just did a post on capital market stocks. And I say, when you get multi-year range resolutions, it's not uncommon for them to have sloppy starts, right? So a handle on the cup and handle to me is just a sloppy start out of a base. So yeah, I don't overthink the pattern names, but this has all the characteristics of a monster base, one that we definitely want to be buying if we're above 110 all day. I would just say daily and weekly momentum rather overbought here. So you might get a better entry if you wait a couple days or a couple weeks, buy on weakness or something after a breakout above 110. Yeah. I also fall right through this blow off here.
I was gonna say that was the trickiest part for me, is that weird little blow off, because it got all the way up to like 122, and so then you're like, okay, what do you use for your entry? Do you use that 122? Do you kind of jump it a little bit because that was the failed move?
We talk about, I think it was just last show, Pat, we discussed volume pockets, right?
Yeah.
And how, in essence, we're just looking to identify areas in the price chart that haven't been transacted that much, right? And when I draw through a blow off top like this, and just look at this, right? The price action here, we ramp up in a monster way with a giant 18.5% candle, have a couple days of follow through, get blasted right back into the box, breakaway gap lower, right? That's a nothing burger. We got up there, we tested, uncharted territories, got shot right down, back in the box. I'm drawing right through it because to me, there's just not enough memory there, right? We didn't, shares didn't exchange hands there enough for me. When you zoom out, you could see that the market is telling us this level is the more important level. You can even draw it, a little bit fatter like this just to make that point.
Yeah, I like how you approached it with the gap because, I think you're right. As long as it closes that gap, that's kind of a good level to jump it at.
Yeah, I would jump it. I would draw right through that stuff. So 110 for me. But you get what I'm saying about the short term, right? So if you look at the daily, zoom in here. I mean, boy, have we ramped up. Love the momentum. Love to see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 straight days of gains, which is fine. The indexes are
ever since earnings too. Yeah.
Listen, love to see it. This will be on our new list. Sam, if you're watching, ITRI on our earnings list. Yeah, I like it, Pat. So the target would be just to Finish this one off. The target, the 161 fib gets you to about 161.45.
I like it. I like it. So the next one that we get asked about a lot, Tesla. Just some support and resistance levels. I
Tesla.
don't have a time frame, but I'm sure a lot of people want to see this one.
Everybody's asking about it.
Everybody wants to see it.
I think you kind of know where I'm at with Tesla. I've been so uninvolved in this name my whole career. It's been one of the hottest topics in the market my whole career.
You know what
And
I
I've
think the
stayed away
tricky
from it
thing
'cause
is
that's what I
about
do.
it is it makes most of its moves like that. And if you're not in it, because a lot of the moves have been on short squeezes, so they're really fast. It advances really fast, and if you're not in it during that multi-week advance, then
So this is a monthly, and it's not uncommon for Tesla to go sideways and do nothing for years, and then have these just massive ramps like you're talking about. I remember when the chart looked like this, Pat. We wrote about it. We talked all about it. I'll never forget. I think it was trading around like $400 a share back then.
yeah, 400 I think
Yeah,
pre-split.
but I remember like the breakout level was like 400.
Yeah,
And then we go and look, we go, I don't know,
so I think
10x.
it went from 400 to 1,000, and then it split. I think I could be making that up.
Maybe it was 40 then, because I mean, look at when this thing ramped up, look at what it did. Out of this range to the 21 or early 22 highs, like 1600%.
You
So that's
realize it
crazy.
was that much.
Yeah.
Holy.
So I think that's eventually the case again, right? But how long does this range last? I don't know. And when I look at the chart now, let's zoom in now. I look at the chart right here, right now. Nothing makes me want to buy this, right? Could I draw it here? If I wanted to buy it and tell a story to other people to buy it, I would try to draw some sort of a top. I don't even know where that level would be, right? I would probably draw through this little blow off down here. Maybe you could buy the lower bounds, but this doesn't. It reminds me a little bit of like the failed tops and Apple and some other stuff, but I don't like it. I don't like it in the same way. So I think if we're below the pivot lows here from just last month, call it 140, it's a do not touch on the long side. If we're above them, you could try to trade ranges, right? So the first range I'll be looking at, you got a shelf of highs right here. So
Let me ask you this. Do you think
weakness to
more likely
150 with the upper bounds of 260 to 300. Not clean.
No, no. Let me ask you this. Do you think we see all-time highs first or retest the 2023 lows there? If you had to guess.
I don't give a shit, but gun to my head, I would say all-time highs because it's a bull market, right? Like this chart, I can't really do anything with as a technician with a trend following bias because there is clearly no trend here.
Anything in the short term?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, because even in the short term,
right
it's a
there with
bet.
you. I think this thing's a mess. Probably the messiest Mag 7 name.
I mean,
And it's also the weakest too.
even in the short term, I can't even draw a clean trend channel on this. It's just like, you know what I mean? I can't draw
You
this.
don't even like channels. What are you doing?
Right. So like I'm trying to draw something I don't even typically draw. There's just, again, there's nothing here for me. I get it. It's Tesla, right? This is a great momentum name, a typical outperformer in bull markets.
Nobody wants to miss it, right? Nobody wants to be the guy sitting there 5 years from now if it is back at 1,000 and saying, "Oh, I should have bought that low." But
Listen,
there's going to be a million of those.
I'm probably going to own a Tesla car before I own a Tesla share.
There you go. Should we go on to Aspen, ASPN? Looks good above 2850, which is the 38.2 retracement.
A ZPN, no?
Must be, yeah. I mean, this one says ASPN, but yeah.
Oh, Aspen Aerogels.
Aerogels, materials?
Okay. UMBF. What is this? This is the right one. What was he saying?
I mean, that's the one so 40, he's looking at looks good above 2850.
Oh, wow.
What was
Listen, the time to buy this was like 100% ago.
Yeah, this is definitely the right stock.
Good. So if you're buying this reversal pattern, I hope that these lines are dark enough.
Yeah, darken them a little bit.
Yep. So if you wanted to buy the uptrend as it was coming underway, the new uptrend, you were getting long. Again, look at slow start coming out of this range, right? That's normal. False start, big fail. Did it again, retest, can't make a new high, retest, can't make a new high, retest, gap higher. See how messy these can be? This is making my prior point for me, these charts. So
It's
Aspen
messy, but that
Aerogels.
level's clean. I mean, that level is proving that there's memory there.
So I think ideally you want it to be long against this 15-ish level. It's a little too late for that now. And listen, there would have been opportunity cost and frustration if you were. But now I think I would just fib it out and look for a retracement. The level that he's calling out is just, I think, the pivot high, it sounds like. So let's just see what the fibs give us.
Yeah, he said I'm thinking target would be 48 or 42.80.
Listen, it's hard to buy a chart that looks like this over the short term for me.
Yeah, and if you look to the left, you're coming into that like shelf of overhead supply there. That could get messy.
Yep, I see it. I'll draw in a second. So Pat's talking about this. Is that it?
Yeah, really that whole chunk there. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's
So either strength above, I don't know, 28 and a quarter, or flip it to a weekly. So strength above 28 and a quarter, 28 and a half, or weakness back towards this shelf of pivot highs from February and April.
there you go.
Right? So strength through 28, weakness back to 18, 19.
That would make sense to find support there too.
Primary trend is now higher though.
Nice
Right.
higher low, keep the uptrend intact.
But the reversal is in, right? That's the big point about this one.
Right,
The reversal
yeah.
is in. It's a good stock to have on your watch list, be looking to get involved in.
You ready for our weekly wavy pick?
Weekly wavy. We need a
Weekly wavy.
bumper. We need a bumper where we run like a weekly wavy.
Or
We
at
have
least
like
a sound effect or something. Yeah.
I feel like he's on the team with everybody else.
All right. Wavy wants to see MFC. Where is he finding these things?
Say MSC?
MFC. Michael,
Oh.
Frank, Charlie.
Yeah. Canada. Monster base. I already know what it looks like.
Oh, this is
We did a special report on this one years ago. So Manulife, this is like
Oh, very clean
like
breakout level.
it's like retirement plans and benefits and all that stuff. It's a financial Canada. So let's just show why Wavy likes it so much. You know, Wavy, I like your Manulife, but I would raise you a Morgan Stanley. We'll talk about that one next. So MFC, the base breakout is very much in the books. I think that was done around 28, trading around 35 today. I don't think we're going to have a fib here, but we'll see. Yeah. 30.75, right? It looks like the pivot lows here. 30.75. There you go. We just bounced off of that level, more or less.
What
Right
about playing kind of a short term, maybe retest of that short term resistance there?
on weakness, I would want to buy back towards this gap.
What about like a gap fill? You see how like filling today's gap?
You're talking about just a little pullback after today's move.
Yeah.
This is an earnings move here today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so solid report. It's a big company. What's the cap on this?
That 28 level, that looks solid.
Yeah, 60 billion. So this is one of the big boys out in Canada. A lot of nice big bases in Canada. I like it. I don't know where exactly you define your risk right now, tactically, right? I think you either could have been buying this hard retest back in the lower 30s just a few weeks ago. Now the breakout's kind of very much underway. So I don't love it from just like a tactical where do I get involved standpoint. The levels we outlined here, again, weakness back to the low 30s, or you have the pivot highs here now at 34.
I was gonna say if you had to, there's gaps that you could, if you really want to get involved in this one. The breakout's kind of already on, but
The breakout's on too. Target 44. right? I think with any of these like nice earnings reactions, you want to just let them cool off, give them some time, a little backing and filling, and then revisit the chart in a week. All right, so that's what I think about for something like this. It's a great base though. Now for my base, Morgan Stanley. Wow, gotta
We,
love
we got
this.
a good segue into another one after this. So
Got to love this. Now, similar to Manulife, but a little bit different. We're pretty much already there at those old record
man, these are
highs
all the
from
way to
August
.com bubble
2000.
guys.
This is a semiconductor base, not a bank.
Wait, Morgan Stanley peaked in 2000, not 08?
Look at these weak ass financial crisis highs that couldn't even eclipse
Whoa.
their .com bubble highs.
Oh, that's sad.
Embarrassed Morgan Stanley.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, so this is, you want to call this one a cup and handle? This is more cup and handly to me, I guess, right?
Yeah.
We're there. We failed, or I would say we false started, at least over this time frame, right? We're looking at monthly sticks here. And then we just keep hitting this level. And when you zoom in, I think it's on right now because now let's zoom into the daily. This is that big bar. Oh wow, sorry. This is that big bar now drawn across here, and you could see how it lines up. These are the 2000 highs. You can see how it lines up pretty clean with some price memory ranges from just the last year. I would draw it like this now. Something like that. It's a big range, right? I could make that fatter.
In terms of relative strength, is that why you like this one too? Is it?
Um, the relative strength isn't like super impressive right now. I think it becomes more of a leader. It's more the group, right? We're getting long JP Morgan. We're long Wells Fargo. Starting to like charts like Bank of America, long Citi, Goldman, right? We've been long all these big six banks all year, just
Yeah.
taking shots, and they've been working. Why wouldn't Morgan Stanley start working too? So I think there's an element of catch up here more than actual leadership right now.
I like
So
it. Let's move on because this next question is pretty much on topic. So,
great.
Mark says banks and capital markets keep popping up on my scans. However, I know industrials have been such a strong leader lately. My request is XLI versus XLF. Zoom way out on the monthly. Is this a good exercise or am I overcomplicating it? He says.
Good exercise. I'll tell you a way to make it better. XLI, XLF, really nothing here. It's just a giant range. So this is going to keep oscillating in this massive range here. Right now, it looks like maybe, so this is XLI in the numerator, right? So giving some back favoring XLF at least into this year. But now so far this year, XLI has actually steadily kind of been outperforming. I get it. We're comparing two sectors here, but these are the cap weighted sector ETFs. Let's look at this a little bit differently using equally weighted
Good
ETFs.
idea.
So I'm looking at RSPN, which is equal weight S&P 500 industrials versus RSPF. Now I'm seeing this a little bit more clearly. This one, you're seeing a clear breakout from a 15-year range that favors industrials, right? And then a really nice retest of this base just recently,
It's telling
late
you
last
that
year, early this year, right?
resistance is now acting as support. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Polarity works even in relative trends. So bouncing off of these former highs, this former resistance turn support, as long as we're above, I don't know, 0.72 in the RSPN, RSPF, you could favor industrials. I think if you look at them on an equal weight basis versus the broader market, though, you're going to find that you want to own them both,
Yeah.
right?
I like that a lot. And I like that you looked at equal weight here. But we're finally done with the mailbag, so we can finally get to some of the questions in the chat. Let's start with Ravi Gupta's. Ravi, how you doing? Let's see. He wanted to see. Where's that? I think ZIM. Where's that?
Zim, I got long today. Let's go. It's squeezing. Look at this base.
I think. Yeah, ZIM.
Yep, love it. So this is a freshly squeezed name. Oh, look, I'm already making money. That's great. So let's just draw this out. This one was so hot last cycle, Pat.
By
So
the way,
hot, like a
username
90%
Make
draw.
Canada Great Again says that's a sweet hat you got on, Steve.
Thank you. I mean, I keep getting shout outs for this hat. This is from, I think it's Alter Ego Running. I go through hats, Pat, like you wouldn't believe. So I
Really?
buy a lot of them. I can't wear sunglasses out on the golf course, so like I'm a big hat guy out there just to protect myself from the UV rays, and they get dirty. So I buy a lot of hats. Girlfriend makes fun of me. All right, listen, Zim 16. If we're above 16 all day, the level's really 1550, right?
Man, what's going
But
on with shippers? I've seen a lot popping up on my scans lately.
the reversal's in. How do I do a moving average here?
It used to be that shipping stocks were kind of like the horsemen, where like if shipping stocks started ripping, you knew the rally was kind of reaching a frothy point because those were just, a lot of the times they're really cheap penny stocks just.
Yeah,
But lately I haven't seen that work.
I mean, look at this drawdown here. From the 2022 highs, we drew down 93%. Now we're completing a, pretty sweet primary trend reversal. Yeah, so long above 1550. First stop, I don't know, first cluster of memory, 25. But massive short interest. Let me give you the short stats real quick before
Oh,
I move.
nice.
That's important, right?
Name like this one hitting, new 52-week highs like that with decent short interest. That's a
a
potent
third,
cocktail.
a third of the float is held short.
Whoa.
33.5% short interest, 7 days to cover. So yeah, I mean,
Wow.
it's not every day that I'm going buying a stock while it's overbought. I'm not against it, but it's just usually not the case, right? I see a short interest like that. I don't care if our size at 80. Let it go to 100.
Yeah,
So Zim, I really like this one, guys. I'm involved. 16.
good stuff.
15.
Next one's from Raul. This is TDG.
TransDigm.
Woo. Look at that. Is that an all-time high?
Sure is.
Wow, look at that trend.
Talk about a secular leader.
Haven't even bothered splitting this one.
This is what secular leaders look like. Let's just bang that point home. TDG versus the S&P 500 all-time highs. I love it when the stocks that we're getting long are not just making all-time highs. Love that, and it happens a lot. But I extra love it when they're also making all-time highs versus the broader market. What does that tell? It just indicates to us that this stock or this issue or this asset, right, because we can do with anything, is poised to outperform over longer time frames.
Yeah, especially when you're
Right?
looking at the relative trend in a weekly like this. Yeah.
Primary trend is up relative to the market. That tells me that over longer time frames, I should expect more leadership from this stock. If you're making new all-time highs, your primary trend is up. So like this a lot. Where are we long? That becomes the hard part with these names,
Yep.
right? These leadership names, it becomes, where do you get in? So looking at a weekly now, I have a feeling we're gonna have a fib level here.
I was gonna say that breakout level is just so clean.
Damn.
It looks like it was a breakaway gap too. You see that? Oh, never mind. Never mind.
See what we're doing here? Some would call this cheating. It's not. So I'm fibbing this at the daily closes, and that there you go, 1340. I like that. You could see how this has reacted or at least responded to the last two fibs, or I'm sorry, the first fib, right
Yeah.
here, couple
Uh,
touches.
would you say that's a decent level to buy a pullback at?
But I would want to see like, some chop here first, right? A little something like this. A little consolidation, and then we go. And then you could buy it on strength, right? Ideally, this one over the coming weeks, digests a little bit here, and then you buy on strength above 1340 or just the pivot high from today.
I like it. Can we take another look at Nucor, NUE? This one's from Kevin.
I'm long and it's been frustrating, man. I bought some Reliance yesterday.
A lot of these industrial metal names have just been hard.
I should be stopped out of this, and I'm breaking my rules, which I do. We all do. Some of us admit it, some don't. I'm breaking my rules because I was stopped out, but I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, it's just gonna hook higher, and I'm gonna get an alert, and then I'm gonna buy it back $1 higher and pay fees twice, right? So I'm this one I've literally written off to I'm not getting shook out. It's gonna hook higher, and it just won't go. It just won't go. So Reliance is similar, just like a hard throwback. These are leaders, though. So I'm talking about Reliance because when I think Nucor, I think Reliance. These are steel stocks. They're leaders. They were some of the earliest issues to make new highs in their peer group, really in all of materials. But now here's where we are, right?
And Steve, I love my ascending triangles. If you draw a trend line on that, it's right there. It's kind of hanging right on the, I mean, it's still got a little bit of room. That's the hook.
Says I love my triangles. Look at this. Is that it? Did I draw that right?
Yeah. Best fit line.
Trend line police approves.
Yeah. I'm not trend line police.
And when you draw it like this, so like it went and then it oopsied, and now it's like, I don't know. It's just so messy. I think we eventually hook higher and paint this green, right? But for now, it's not great. It's not great. This could change by the end of today, right? We hook higher and we're back above 180. Get long. That's your signal, right? But for now, if you're not in it like me, sucker, there's really nothing to do. So strength back above 180. I like it a lot. Then, and let me just show why real quick. I'm sitting here saying nice things about ticker while I say that the chart looks terrible. Let's just go way back, right? So this new commodity super cycle, this is Nucor versus steel. Look at the way we moved up off of those bear market lows in late 2020, right? So we ramped up, and then this looks just like most charts in commodity sectors right now, whether it's energy or materials, right? We have this big ramp higher and then just sideways, right? Just nothing.
Talk about a failed breakout, huh?
So I think that when the range in Reliance, or I'm sorry, the range in Nucor on an absolute basis goes, the range in Nucor on a relative basis goes too, and we see more leadership from this name.
I like it. Let's see. Let's
Two more.
Troy wants to see GVA. Look, zoom all the way out, he says.
GV?
GVA, yeah.
Granite Construction. Okay. This one might be small, Pat. Yeah.
No,
All right.
too small.
3 billion. Yeah, nice chart. Nice chart.
Wait, how big is it?
Like 3 billion. Maybe give it a little bit more time. Okay. Wish it was a little bit cleaner here.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It needs probably a couple more weeks at least.
Pat likes trend line, so we'll do one of these. Look, yeah. So coming off, IPO'd in early 90s, sweet run up. This is the pre-financial crisis high. This is the 2018 high, and it's just been sideways for a long time. So I think patience pays with this one. I think this one has more work to do, but definitely, looking pretty good here, heading in the right direction. Trend is certainly higher. It's been great, for the past 2 years. So let it break out first, right? And then get involved. And I like 70. 70, get you back above that 2018 high, right? 70, and then let me give you a target. 70 target 105. So I think we'll be wanting to buy this one soon, but not quite yet.
Make Canada great again. I can't find your ticker, so just drop it in again if you want us to take a look real quick. Let's end with one that I know you like. Brad says, fun day for Hood. Let's break down Hood.
Not for me. I'm already out of it. I was in it for a day and a half. I am not going to hold the stock that reacts to an earnings beat like this.
So, okay. So I didn't see the earnings beat or the earnings move today. So
It was a good report, but I think the problem with Robinhood is like, where do we go from here? Right?
Yeah.
It's like it's a good report, but it's like, is that good enough to make somebody want to buy you? I don't know. Robinhood as a standalone viable business long term, I think is a tough sell. Right. And then if they're going to make the argument, well, all these tiny account sizes that, we open up with these millennials, they're going to have money one day and then we'll do their retirement account. Really? Maybe they don't go to Goldman and do that there or
Yeah.
Morgan like everybody else, right? So I don't know. I think it's still like a tough longer term proposition. I thought the Coinbase report was so good. A lot of Robinhood's transaction fee revenue growth comes from crypto. So I thought the Coinbase report, awesome. That's a great read through to Robinhood. They're going to be, I'll get a quick pop. Got the quick pop, came right back down to the level that I got into it a few days ago. See ya, done. But it was worth a shot. The bigger point about this one is that the base is there, right? This looks like, I don't know, all of the charts that we've been excited about buying for the past few years now. So let's just draw that out. So if you like it and you can, wrap your head around it as a more bullish long-term play, I think you have levels to get long against. And I would have no problem with that. For me, to buy a reversal like this, I, kind of want to hold it for looking out a year. It's just, I'm having a fundamental issue with it. It's my
Yeah.
problem, not yours. I think you don't have to overthink it like me. We have this short-term top here. These tend to not be tops in bull markets. However, if it does end up being a top and we break these VWAP levels here, I'm not even going to draw a line, but here, we break these little VWAPs drawn here, got to be out. So I would use the pivot lows, maybe the VWAP from the IPO date that comes in right around 16. Can't own this if we're back below 16 because you're going to get a retest of that base breakout level, which is all the way down at 13. However, if we hold, start reversing higher, we have these two VWAPs, right? This is the IPO day VWAP and the all-time high VWAP coming in right around the same zone here, giving you a nice little ribbon. We're above there. I think you can stay long. I don't know. Maybe the market knows something I don't about this one.
Do we have time to get to one more and then we're out?
We'll do one more, yeah.
Descartes Systems.
Yeah.
So I think it might be a Canadian name.
ESG,
DSG, yeah.
CAD, Canada. Hey, secular leader, how you doing?
And this comes from Make Canada Great Again. So,
Oh,
wow, look at that.
hey now. Software. This is what most of these .com bubble bases come from. Groups like software, not capital markets or banks like Morgan Stanley. So 11.5 billion packaged software name.
Wow.
Look, hey, it was a long way down and a long ride back up since those financial crisis highs 25 years ago, but we're there. We're there.
Steve, wouldn't you say this one has the makings for one of those trends that just keeps going and it's really hard to get in? And it's just like, okay, what do we do with this one?
Looked like that for a long time now, right? Just like you're talking about, like just the steady, slow grind higher,
Yeah.
not seeing much in terms of corrective action. We'll zoom in and make sure that that's really the case when we look at a daily. It's just, all right, so there's your arc. Okay, so we like it long term. Boom. Let's see what's going on the daily. Yeah, what Pat's saying is it's kind of just slow grind up.
I was more talking about when you actually get the breakout. Like it could be like even, one of those almost like like Lily or
Yeah. Listen, here's how I would draw it on the daily. I would really want it here in this little range between 115, 118. And you can give more tactical levels. Right? Just use the pivots. Use the pivots, use the VWAPs,
and use the fibs for your targets.
and then fib it out. But I mean, this is a name you probably want to be involved in, right? So I think ideally you get it on weakness here towards like 127.5. And then I would say you're targeting 141. So you're pretty much already almost there. Again, we could get to 141, a little bit of digestion, something high and tight here, and then next target 183. Regardless, this is a really strong stock in a really good region of the world right now, which is Canada, which we like more and more and more. All right, Pat.
Yeah, so I know we didn't get to some of them in the chat. Some of you guys are asking about Latin America and international stocks. I know JC had a great post yesterday on Latin America, so maybe go check out some of that. But Steve, why don't you lead us out?
This has been Chart Request Live. Thank you all so much. You guys make this show what it is for us. We have such a good time doing this twice a week with you. Join us again on Tuesday. Patrick will be on the charts, 1 o'clock Eastern time, right here on Stock Market TV. In the meantime, morning show every morning, 8:30 Eastern time. See you there. Thanks, everybody.